Hey everyone, it's T. So among some of the more whimsical styles that have been popularized within the last 2 years, one that I've been thinking of particularly is royalcore. The style is exactly how it says on the tin, inspired by royalty, gold, silks, lace, all that. Elements can be taken from the Regency era, Victorian, some of them have been fantasy inspired, fairy-like elements. Some of them are just like, here's me in a pretty flowy dress, and I respect that. So with that in mind, I could talk about how we got here, some of the influences, popularization through certain media properties like Bridgerton. But frankly, I just want to talk about K-pop. I feel like even if you don't listen to it, you can at least appreciate some of the stage costumes and music video stylings. That kind of creativity is why I still follow it. Admittedly, not as closely as when I was a teen, but I still find it inspiring in some way. And I love a good theme, like give me an era, give me a concept, give me escapism. So let's look at some of the groups that have done royalcore in the past. I'm sure this might have been done beforehand, but I'm going to start with what I know best, which is Girls' Generation's 2011 comeback, The Boys. Now, my girls are certainly known for their unique concepts. I don't know, everything about this at the time was so good. In the music video, we go from like a plainer, more bridal dress to like decadence. Flower petals, little jewels on the shoes, there's a dove. Anyway, some of these outfits are more along the lines of what was popular in the early 2010s, especially in the dance sections. Kind of I don't even know what to call it. It's an amalgam of styles. You've got some sparkly headbands meant to look like crowns. Truly, what an era. Still, you can see the through line with some of the silhouettes, the gold lacing on the shoes. Then we get into where the real money is, the stage outfits. These are more along the lines of European military costumes from the 18th century, I want to say, but it still counts in my book. They're wearing tiaras, there's lace and tutus. We get what they were going for. Male noblemen, I believe, wore something similar to these kind of coats and vests that they're wearing, but don't quote me on that. The androgyny, huge quotations there, I can't think of a better word, is mostly due to the title of the song, the lyrics, but it ties into the styling of the stage outfits in that way, kind of pants, suits-ish. And I just really like that these outfits feel custom in a way. You can tell that the stylists kind of built these, and even if the main pieces were bought, the details still feel custom, and also like they were taking from a bunch of different historical sources and mixing them together. Now I'm going to do something I never do, which is talk about boy groups, and specifically talk about BTS. We're looking at their Blood, Sweat, and Tears era, which is one of my favorites. Please do not ask me any questions. Anyway, going from the music video, I think, some might be thinking like, really? Royalcore? But hear me out. A lot of what I see nowadays when it comes to social media is a very accessible way of taking on the style, taking thrifted or less obvious pieces to try and replicate the look. And I think this is a good way to do that in a more masculine version. You still have all the elements, the gold, the silk satin, some jewelry, some scarves, ruffles. There's a jacket with gold braiding. I really like the floral jackets. Some of them look like actual embroidery or maybe jacquard print. Jacquard? How do you say that word? Roughly collars and cuffs. You can really tell that they got just a little bit in the details from historical noble people, European noble people. And while the silhouette is very modern, I think that that's fine. It's a good mix of all of those. There are a few other groups that I didn't look at as closely. There's a boy group named Kingdom. I believe they're relatively new. I'm largely unfamiliar with them, but it looks like they stuck to this theme pretty well. It looks like they bring in not only elements from Western royalty period costumes, but also Korean historical outfits as well. I think that's pretty cool. I feel like I can't comment on them as much just because I can't really give justice to a real deep dive research on Korean aristocratic dress in the 1800s, but I will say that the stuff that they wore on stage is gorgeous. I love a high concept boy group, like a sword, on a track called Excalibur, armor. I love it. I feel like this might be my own little bubble of social media that's holding me back, but I would love to see more cultural dress kind of mixed in with these kinds of aesthetic trends. I'm sure it's happening. I just, more visibility would be great. And finally, we've made it to what inspired me to do this video in the first place, which is Red Velvet's Feel My Rhythm. It's the most recent of these, and therefore I feel takes from the most recent trends. They're the corsets, specifically the ones with 18th century, 19th century art woven into it. Puff sleeves, slightly fuller skirts, a little bit of deconstruction here and there. This concept is incredibly on the nose in its inspiration. There's literally Bach in the instrumental, but the styling choices also just fit the overall concept of the group. It's supposed to be sweet but mature with an edge, I guess. I can't remember their original. But examples of this are the pleather corsets that they wear with more chiffon blouses and skirts with pearls on them. I think you can also see that they're wearing very short petticoats, which is interesting. My favorite is really just the gold detailing on these outfits, though. It really makes it look expensive. It's really not something that I would expect for a one-time or maybe two-time music video and stage outfit. And while I was doing research for this, I found out that the costumes are actually by an haute couture designer called House
Dénicheur.
I'm going to pretend I said that right. Truly when we were faves. No, they've done a couple of things for different K-pop groups recently. It seems like the main through line in a lot of their designs is a lot of metal detailing. It makes it look really, I keep wanting to say expensive, I don't know, royal? This is also the most feminine version of anything I've talked about. I appreciate that. The choreography is not that hard on this particular single, but it's nice that they stuck to kind of a more feminine, frilly thing for this one. But it's just different. It's interesting. But yes, I love the tulle, the lace, the pearl detailing, the silhouettes. We even have a nice updo, which is also rare, even in other media forms. It's usually hair down. I know I'm not a great example right now, but and jewelry too, or headbands, jeweled headbands to mimic the idea of a crown. Even though everything else is on the nose, I think it adds a little bit more subtlety without making it seem like a costume. It makes it a little less costumey, I should say. And also, I think this look is achievable without the help of an haute couture designer. All of these pieces, I feel, are easily sourceable, maybe just with a little bit more effort, which I also like. Okay, this was not completely comprehensive, but I am tired. Thank you for watching. I just finished moving, hopefully for the last time in a while. So, fingers crossed I'm back on schedule. I keep saying that. Anyway, thanks for watching.